Hi everybody, welcome to Gunpla TV.
Hey guys.
Brought to you by HobbyLink Japan. This is episode 135, and we're back after a little bit of a self-imposed hiatus. Yeah, so Ryan, what do you got to say now that you're back?
The competition.
That's right.
Please remember there's a competition running. Please enter. We think we've fixed the problem with the submission page.
Yes, I think so. I think it's been fixed.
So if you're still having problems, continue to email us so we can iron out the final bugs. But there's a lot of good stuff going on, so please check it out.
You know, we're in like the kind of the home stretch for that now. It's November.
3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're in the middle of November, so you know.
Get on it.
We're approaching the finish lines in the horizon.
Yeah, you can see it.
People who have been taking their time to build these masterpieces might start feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure. No pressure.
There's money at
Pressure.
the end. But there was huge news.
Big surprise for us, actually.
Yes.
I was actually at Ryan's desk talking to him about next weekend what we're going to do for Gunpla TV because there's a Gunpla Expo.
Yes.
And I mentioned that the Real Great Strike Freedom is scheduled to release 2 days earlier than normal, right? Normally we get new releases on the shelves on a Saturday, which means we get them Thursday. And the Strike Freedom is supposed to be on the shelf on a Thursday, meaning we might get it on the Wednesday or Tuesday. And then all that conversation just ended up being moot because while we were in the middle of this conversation, one of our coworkers came up and handed me this plastic bag which contained all the parts for the Real Great Strike Freedom.
You would have seen the special edition video where we did shoot some video.
Yeah, we showed all these parts on the video.
But you have actually gone ahead and...
Yes, well, I knew I didn't have much time because I got this yesterday at about 3 p.m.
Yep.
Which is about 23 hours ago. But I went home and I really gone on and done as much as I could, and I left it kind of half and half to try to save time and get a whole suit here. So I've got a half armored, half unarmored RG Strike Freedom that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And you can see that I have not done any of the Dragoons yet. Now the Dragoons are like the special part of this kit. You know, it shares the same frame as the other RGs, but
the Dragoons are shiny.
It has this plated Mickey, which is the first time we've seen something like this with an RG kit. I've done the half and half build here. I wanted to show everybody the frame, so I left it exposed here, and you can see that it is the RG frame, yes, and it is that yellow color. And this is the first time we've seen an RG frame that's not that black. And I think that when they molded this frame, you can see it's the standard frame. I think this plastic they used is maybe a little bit more brittle, or in some ways less flexible or forgiving than the real RG. Or the previous RGs, because I actually had a moment here where I bent this a little too much trying to loosen up the joint, and I actually broke something in there. It just started to crack, and I had to actually finish the break just to be able to get back inside there. And that doesn't really concern me so much. I don't intend to bend this leg this much when I'm playing with my Strike Freedom, but I hope everybody just kind of takes that into consideration, that even though this frame is flexible, it kind of really easy to use plastic or easy to move plastic, it can break. But I've also put on just kind of the side frame parts here, and the colors do match, but it's worth noting that on other areas like maybe the shoulder connections and the Dragoons, when I build them, you're actually getting a different color of gold here. So here's the gold that we're used to seeing.
How do you feel about the gold? There's a few people who've been saying that the gold is...
It's less than stellar. I mean, when you think gold, you don't think of this kind of...
Would you spray the
yellow
frame, do you think, to
yeah,
get a better gold?
If you just got a spray can, you could immediately make it twice as good, right? Improve it tenfold. The issue that people may not realize is that when you make something like this and then you cover it over with this clear to give this kind of gold look, it works for parts like this, which are big in one piece, but for an RG frame, which consists of a bunch of parts that are kind of molded together and meant to move when they come off the runner, you're not going to be able to spray that overcoat on it, because it would not get in everywhere, and as soon as you start bending it and how you make that frame into an arm, it would expose all the areas that were missed, or it would just it would stiffen it up and not allow you to kind of move it at all. So I'm kind of okay with the gold, and there's some parts on this frame runner that if you sprayed, then you wouldn't notice right here, right? You'd get a better overall look.
Do you think you would like build the inner frame and then spray it? Like if you had to spray gold?
If you had to spray the gold on the inner frame, what I would do, for example, before putting on any other frame parts is I would pull it off and change it into its shape, and I would spray it, and then I would bend it, expose all the areas that got missed, and I would spray it again, and then hopefully that would be enough to satisfy some people. Because remember, this frame, most of it's going to be covered up.
Yeah.
So a couple other areas of note here. It's actually kind of really cool. The simple one is, yeah, this cockpit does open and close. That's cool. And I guess while we're looking right here, I can show you my half and half V-fin. This was not intentional, even though I was going for the right half left uncovered look. I had finished building it. I was putting everything away last night to get ready to take it into the office to film. And it slid off of the pile and went, I think, this way, gunk, and landed on the floor with a big noise. And when I picked it up, I noticed that, yeah, damn it, I'm missing some parts. Or parts are broken. I'm going to have to order those parts. And I can't order them right now because this kit isn't released yet, so I kind of have to wait. So be careful if you ever get a sample early release kit. Don't break it because you can't fix it. The shoulders now, for those of you who have built the Perfect Grade Strike Freedom, which is the most recent model kit version of this guy. On the PG, you can pull out and expand the shoulders, and it kind of opens up, revealing the gold underneath. Well, you can kind of do that on this guy, but I think you need the hands of a midget here. You can kind of get in there and expand it, and it does kind of show it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, this part in here, these parts in here, I would definitely consider painting that gold, because it's not actually part of the frame. It's or the B runner frame, like we're all used to seeing. It actually comes on the E runner, so you could spray this whole runner, and you would be able to get in there and change that. But it is kind of cool that they included this little gimmick on such a small kit, because you're not going to get this on the HG here. Hold it back together. One other area worth noting, I'm going to open up the arm here, is that with most real grades, the frame, you're using this little connection to attach the side skirts. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this little connection is where you attach the side skirt parts normally on an RG kit. However, with the Strike Freedom, he has these huge rail guns. So what they did is they allow you to fold these back, and you're going to use this connection here, which is part of the lower part of the torso. You can see the torso does move, only slightly. Now they designed the rear skirts to work a little differently, because those rail guns are meant to come all the way around to the back, like so. So you're actually able to, with this connection, move this down, something you can't do with any of the other RGs. So there's a lot of new design elements when it comes to building the frame. They kind of tack this onto the frame that we're used to with a bunch of really small parts. But it works actually quite well, so I don't anticipate there will be a problem once I get these rail guns built. And then once I do get this guy all finished, I will be attacking the Dragoons. And as I mentioned, they come mostly with this gold part and these pieces as well. But you're also working with these 4 runners. You can see there they are, the 8 Dragoons. You're going to be slapping these together along with the darker parts for these. Now, I don't know if the gimmick actually allows these to expand as the Perfect Grade does. I'll find out when I'm finished building that. Once we know, we'll take some pictures and let everybody know. All right, so, obviously I got more to do, of course, finishing arming up this side. But it's the Dragoons, I think, that's going to take me a lot of time. And then, of course, all the markings. So let me just take all this stuff back.
Yes, and I have some new stuff to show. Yep. And one we only saw images of last time. It was a pre-order item. This has finally come into stock.
Yes.
It's, what is it? The Vewlix Cabinet Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. And let me pop it in the box and let's actually see what's inside.
Cool.
Okay, so the box. Well, firstly, we have the manual, which is pretty cool. You have your own little cabinet.
Painting
Very
guy.
stylish. You also, actually, I'll get the decal sheet. It's probably the most interesting, I think. Well, there's 2 interesting sheets. So you have your decals. Well, I guess the top
Those
scores.
are shiny.
Oh yeah, sorry, upside down. Yeah, very shiny. And am I wrong in saying that you can cut these out and put them in a screen
That's
caps?
my guess. You should be able to cut them out and some kind of hide them behind the screen or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I know when we saw the images when they were promoting it, they had all those pictures kind of laid out in a pile, fanned out.
And they do say these are paper accessories, so one would assume you can actually use them inside the cabinet, which would be great. But plastic-wise, I mean, there is not that much. It's just a few runners here. So pretty straightforward.
Looks like
build.
it's in color though, so you don't need to paint it if you don't want to.
Yeah, that's the great thing. I mean, this is just like for a fanboy of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that game. So there we have it.
Yeah.
The Vewlix cabinet. If you're into Street Fighter and want a simple build, this is freaking sweet.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. Now, something else new also came.
Speaking of nostalgia for Ryan.
Yeah. The VF25F/S Messiah.
Yeah.
For Macross Frontier. So, as per usual, this isn't a transforming kit.
Yep.
Here are the body pieces. And you know, this jet, even though, I mean, it transforms, which is even more amazing, but it's just the one sexy jet. Like,
Yeah,
I
I gotta
love
say
the design of it.
The Valkyrie jet's just like the anime. See him in the anime? They look awesome.
Yeah. Now, as per usual, you have your decal sheets.
They have loads of decals.
Yes, you do. A bit of work there, but actually not that much. Not too bad. There's a girl in a miniskirt here. Some anime-related stuff. Ooh, even more.
You had me at girl. Oh yeah, that's kind of standard.
Yeah.
Macross art, isn't
Oh, that's
it?
the Blu-ray box. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so there we have it.
Okay.
If you're a Macross fan, very cool jet. But Sid, Gundam.
I got stacks of Gundam.
Yeah, you
'cause
got
of
a
course
ton.
we had a little bit of time off here. The first, let's talk about the Gunpla build fighters because that's all the rage
You
here now.
mentioned you've actually watched a little.
Yes, Ryan, I actually caught an episode
And?
this week. My first thought is that the animation looks really good.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was really well animated. The second thought was that this is really for kids because it's cool because I see them like playing with these Gunpla models, and I play with Gunpla models. I can relate to what you're doing, but at the same time, then you go into some kind of arena and put them on this thing, and you start fighting. It was good to see like not only Gunpla represented, but kind of throwing back to the older suits and the older kits. But yeah, the overall premise.
Well,
yeah,
the comments I've heard is that people are really enjoying it.
I'm
Really
gonna give it a
enjoying
chance. I'll try and
Yeah.
catch some more episodes. I mean, it's about Gunpla, and that's something I'm very interested in, so I'll check it out. But speaking of the Gunpla, let's
Yes.
actually talk about the kits. Now, here's the Gundam X Maoh. And Gundam X Maoh.
So these are kits that people created in the game, in the TV series. Is that right?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
They put them together and fought them against somebody
Okay.
else who created a similar
Okay.
kit. So this is based on the Gundam X, of course, but it's
Okay.
not entirely the same. It's quite different in some regards. I'm not going to open all these up because we've just got a bunch of HGs, but we'll show you the images here. And also the Gundam Mark II. Now the Mark II is one of my favorite mobile suits overall. And it's a little bit different because it has this backpack that you can see here.
Yeah.
And the backpack here is the build booster too. You can buy it
Okay.
separately. So you can slap it on your RX-72 Gundam or your Zeta or your Jim or whatever else you have back there. So you don't need to buy this if you've got this kit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. And something that I had not seen before but arrived in a warehouse. This one kind of
Yeah,
snuck
what is
by me.
that?
This is the Build Custom GP base. And I don't know what it is. So I'm going to open it up. Open it up. What do we see inside? Well, not much. So that's not surprising. I mean, look at the size of the box. We're getting one bag. And in it looks like it contains what is going to be a base. And that's what it's called. It's called the Build GP base. So you're going to assemble this to make a base to attach your Gundam to. And you can see that it has this kind of screen. I guess this is supposed to be the display for people when they're operating their Gunplas and the Gunpla build fighters. So there must be a sticker or something that goes on there. Let's have a look here. There is there's a cutout.
Oh, you're cutting out.
You cut it out. So you cut it out, and then I guess that's good. A sticker this size might be hard to use. What you do here's the actual instructions is you put it on there and then you close that transparent lid. So there you go. You can make the display. Now hopefully they make like an iPad app or something that will allow my
that'd be
iPhone
awesome.
to
Yeah.
have this little display because that is kind of cool. But
Yeah, maybe.
there you go. There you go, Ryan. If you want to be anime accurate, there you go. You can build your Gunpla
I plug
and
my iPhone
plug it
into
into the
it?
GP base and take on your buddy who has a GP base and see who wins with your inanimate plastic objects.
Yes, Sid.
All right. I got one more. This one's not Gunpla Builders. That's why I saved it for the end.
Okay.
It's the Nemo, but this is the unicorn desert color version.
Oh, that is.
It actually is cool. We showed this at the model show. We were at the model show
The
a couple
latest
weeks
one.
ago. Like 3 weeks ago now. Seems like so long ago now. But they did have the Nemo out amongst everything else there. And
Well,
I
actually,
like the
while
colors.
you're talking about model shows,
Yeah.
should we just tell everyone about the
Which one?
Gundam Expo.
The Gunpla Expo? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mentioned at the beginning of this episode. But yeah, this next Thursday, 1 week from today, we are going to be at the Gunpla Expo bright and early with cameras and iPads and iPhones and whatever else we can. And we're going to try and get as many pictures and as much video as we can get, and we'll get it up as soon as we can.
Is there anything exciting?
Well, you know, I was kind of thrown for a little bit of a loop at the model show because they had this Wasabi totally done. And it got me thinking that, you know, what are they going to be able to show at this next one? You know, it's Bandai's big Gunpla Expo. What are we going to see? And last year they kind of showed the new Gundam version Ka MG at the model show, and then the month later at the Gunpla Expo they revealed it has the inner psycho frame. So there might be some kind of reveal for the Wasabi, but they haven't hinted at that yet, which might lead me to believe that maybe they have a whole new kit they're going to show off as a prototype.
That'd be great.
And we just have to go and find out.
Yeah, we always love going there. There's always a lot of
love
interesting Gundam.
I love it.
So
It's gonna be
yeah,
awesome.
we'll get lots of stuff, photos, videos that Sid mentioned. But sorry, sir, you need to.
So that unicorn desert color. The Nemo. I like the Nemo. And I'm not going to open this guy up as well because it's going to be a big episode. We're running short of time. We've got lots to catch up on. But for Nemo fans, maybe you don't like the bright green. Well, try the desert color. I think it's cool. Now, Ryan, we're going to look at Wing next because I've got the latest one here.
Yes, you completed that kit.
I completed the Wing Proto. So I'm going to talk about the Wing Proto. And then I'm going to talk about the Wing Zero, and I'm going to talk about the Wing EW, and I'm going to talk about the Wing Gundam in general because I also have them here, and we're going to kind of do a side-by-side comparison type video. So let me get prepared. All right, here he is. He's the Wing Proto, and I got to say it's a good kit. It's a really good kit. It's really solid. It does transform, so you get that kind of enjoyment out of it, and it's actually not that complicated to transform. But before we get into all that, let's kind of talk about the features of this kit. You can see it has these side skirts that open and close and are kind of mostly cosmetic, but I think they're actually kind of cool, right? And now you can see he also has these movable parts underneath, little thrusters. These will have to move when you start the transformation, but for now I kind of bring them down so you can see them there.
How difficult was the build actually?
It wasn't too bad, but I mean, I've built 3 Wing Gundams prior to this. So the actual torso for the most part and legs were the same. The shoulders are a little bit different. And the back, of course, is completely different, but we'll get to that in just a second here. These hatches do open up, but you got to be careful. You kind of have to pull them at an angle before you can get them open, but you can see they got the Vulcan cannons in there. Push that back down in there. It is very sturdy. Just be careful when you're standing up though, because I'll mention this in a minute. The ankle joint is not the same as the ankle joints we're used to seeing. But let's, I guess we'll talk about the backpack now and the wings. Now the wings, they're kind of 2 parts, right? Other wing kits, here's a glance at the wing here. You know, you get this wing. Hey, all right. You know, it's kind of this moves and opens up. That's cool. The EW, also known as the version Ka, it doesn't open at all. It just kind of hangs there, so you don't have to worry about any kind of complicated engineering on that part. And I guess while we're talking about the other ones, look at this is a whole different animal.
It's the pretty boy.
Wing custom. We'll talk about this after because it's so different from the other 3 that it deserves its own kind of moment here. We'll put this back here. Now this guy, these actually open up. Ping. And it's actually a pretty good design because inside of here, you can't see because it's kind of covered up, is there's these 2 hooks that joined by a peg in the middle, and they're a hinge. So as you move one, the other one will close as well. Come on, you. It's actually kind of cool, but it's they're meant to open and close. And when you start to do the transformation to put it into its flight mode, you will need to open them and close them and kind of move them around. So keep that in mind here. And before I do any kind of transformation, allow me to talk about the weapons. We do have 2 weapons in the form of rifles, and we do have beam sabers, but they're kind of the same as most beam sabers we're used to. And we have a shield. Now the shield does open up, and it has these kind of wings that pop out here. Now this is supposed to be the cockpit of the flight mode, just like that. Or the pile driver, I think somebody mentioned it. It has this connection here which allows you to just plug it in and then your shield is attached. So it's very easy to take on and off, and you don't really have to worry about it falling off, which some heavy shields will do. So this guy is cool. No problem. Now you can put one rifle in each hand. You got the swappable hand parts. But the cool thing about these rifles is that they're meant to go together. So you do have to kind of open up the middle here, which can be a little tricky, right? Open that up. Open this up. And then join them in the middle. So here we go. Dual power. There he is. It's kind of cool. Now to get this into the hand, he can't hold on to the two handles at the same time, so you actually just pop one down. Pop one down, put the hand part on, attach
So it's like
it
a
to the wrist.
double barrel shotgun.
He's like, I got the double
Shotgun
rifle of
noob.
death here.
Damn it.
I kind of like it separate because he can kind of like splay them out like this, like go in both directions. I'm John Woo, our John Woo movie here. Okay, so I'm going to just move this to the side here because we're talking about weapons, because I want to talk about the weapons of the other kits as well and how they compare. So this guy's just going to move off frame here. And let's bring in, I'm going to say the oldest one. I guess is the oldest one is the Wing Zero Custom. This is 2004. Actually, the version Ka came out first, but I have not built the version Ka because I built the EW, which is the same version. So let's say this is the version Ka. It's the same kit, except it was given different colors and some stand attachments. Do you see these? These allow you to attach the EW version or the version Ka to an action base, either in its robot or flight mode. So this is 2004. This is 2004. And this guy at the time, and still, he comes with some pretty cool weapons. I mean, his shield is, here he is. It's quite large. It's very cool. Again, this is the front part of the flight unit. I kind of think this is the best shield of them all, but any of them is good. You can't really go wrong. But look at this this rifle. It's monstrously large. It's the biggest one of them out of the four here. And this part will kind of move and cover his head when you do the transformation. And then
So he's a sniper.
Yeah, these ammo canisters are on here as well. And he also comes with these things that actually carry extra ammo canisters, and these will fit onto either the arms in this mode, or when you transform into his flight mode, they fit underneath. And this guy has kind of the same features as well. You know, you have Vulcans here that will open up, and he can transform. I'm not going to look at the transformation of this guy today because we're talking about the Proto. Let me just move this guy back here. Now, the Wing Zero, completely different animal. His weapons are similar to the Proto's in that he has these two rifles with the handles that pop in and out. But you can combine these as well. So just by opening them like this, opening this one on this side, it's very similar to the Proto, but the way they attach the design used for that is quite different. And they actually click in the center here. So yeah, there you go. Again, the Zero's got his
Can I
dual
say
weapon of death.
something about this kit? This was the first kit I bought when I was in Japan on holiday.
You made a good choice.
Yeah, and you know it's still not built.
Yeah, well,
Surprise, surprise.
now I'm giving you a reason here.
Well, it's kind of half built.
Yeah. Now the big thing about the Zero, of course, is the wings, and I'm gonna take them off here because I kind of want to be able to show them to you in all their glory here. Because if you look at the underside, just look at kind of all the stuff that's going on in here.
Yeah, it's detailed.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first kit I believe where you saw this kind of like really flexible plastic, which they use for the feather, and these kind of they attach on, and yeah, they might come off easy, but they go back on just as well. So if they were to do this out of like a much tougher or thicker or harder plastic, like make that connection, there's a good chance you would break something when you're trying to play with it. But with this one, you don't have that fear. It's okay. You don't have to worry. There's actually pivots in here, connections that allow these things to open. So when you do open it, you get this kind of effect, right? He's
So it really is like bird's feathers.
It's ready to fly. This guy's
Yeah.
gonna fly away. It's actually really cool. And the arm allows you to kind of place it wherever you want around the kit. So you can have, we'll plug it back on here. You can have them kind of covering up in front. There you go. You can have them, opening up over top like he's taking flight, or even, of course, behind. He does have a secondary set of wings, but they, for the most part, they'll open up a little bit, which is kind of cool. But they're nowhere near kind of as elaborate as this guy. but the sheer number of posability options you have with these wings is pretty cool. And I gotta say, for a kit that came out in 2004, which is 9 years ago now, this kit is amazing. Like I've only built it within the last year. I picked it up because I thought I better catch up on my MG wings because everybody was talking about this Wing Zero and I hadn't built it yet. But I gotta say, for 2004, this is kind of a leap they made at that time. It's actually really awesome. It doesn't transform into any kind of like flight mode, although you can manipulate the legs and extend them. So he does have the same kind of frame as the other kits. He just doesn't transform.
Yeah, when I bought that kit, I just I knew nothing about Gundam, but I just thought it looked amazing. Like the wings just looked incredible.
It does look amazing. I'm really impressed with it. Now this is the first wing MG I ever built, and maybe people recognize it, maybe they don't. This is the first kit that we ever showed on the HobbyLink TV blog when we started it.
Really?
Yes, it is. I built this and took a bunch of photos, and we made a series of posts on the HobbyLink TV. And it was with this kit. It's the first one. Wow. And I still kind of have the sense of attachment to it because I really liked the design at the time, and I think it looks really good. It's one of my favorite.
It holds up.
One of my favorite wing suits anyway. I really like the torso compared to the other ones. And the wings, they're much more simple than the other wings found in the other MGs. But I think that's one of the reasons that I like them. They do open, but only a little bit. So I think it looks a little bit like a moth, but I can live with that. And you get these claws which can hang onto his weapons. So I'll bring his weapons on here. Here's his rifle here with the movable handle, because this is meant to go into here, and then you will have the main part of the bird mode there. You can see this houses a beam saber. This is a beam saber handle. It's really cool. Feels good. One thing that I found with this wing, it's a 2010 kit. It has the same kind of design idea for the shoulders, which you find on the EW and version Kyle, but it stays together much better. Maybe the plastic used is slightly different, or the shape of it is slightly different. But these shoulders, they're really easy to use, as opposed to this guy. I find that he can start to come apart. Yeah. When you start trying to transform.
Do you think it's that lighter plastic?
Well, the plastics for the most part I think is the same. It's just that there's like 3 or 4 layers in here. Oh, okay. It's just designed a little bit differently. So I do have this issue with this top part coming off when I try to transform this guy. But other than that, I mean, this guy's the most solid of the older kits anyway. But that leads me up to talking about the transformation of the prototype. So let's get this guy back on here.
Do we get transformation music today?
If I mess up, we'll get transformation music. Firstly, the shoulders, they have to move in the same way, but the design is completely different. They have a connection here and not a groove. The other ones have to slide along this groove and go down. This one is just a connection that you kind of pull up, and then you're able to drop down here. So now I have to get this transformation. I'm going from memory here for the most part because I've done it once. So before I mess anything up and break it, let me show you that, hey, you can store your beam saber handles in there. That's kind of cool. All right, first step here, let's turn the head around. And let's turn the legs around. Like so. So far, so good. And this is the... Should point out that yes, the leg fell off, but that was my fault. I made a mistake when I built it, and I actually damaged the polycap. So it's prone to falling out now, and the other leg doesn't do that. It's totally a man-made issue on this side. Okay, so now we have to fold up these little flaps where the thrusters are and bring these down. Let's tuck them in here like so. Now some of the other wing kits will have you kind of move these side skirts in and kind of clip them in. There's none of that on this, so you don't have to worry about that. You do have to kind of open up this leg so that you can rotate the entire foot. Yeah, like none of the other wing kits have this feature. They have a totally different design for the ankle, but yeah, this guy rotates around and then kind of bends down, right? Pop that open, rotate that around, swing it down, bloop. And let's do what every wing kit ever made does, in that you have to and I hate this part of it. You have to kind of get the leg to bend in a direction that looks awkward, because my knee doesn't bend in that direction, and then kind of
It's a
bend it over,
machine.
and then it touches in there almost. It's like, yeah, each time I do this on a transforming kit, and almost all transforming kits seem to have this kind of action on the knee, I cringe. If my knee bent like that, I'd be going to the hospital. Okay, now, so far so good, right? With the wings, check out this. You have to pop this down. Boop. Get in there. Once you pop this down, there's a locking mechanism. I can actually pull these right out, like so. Like if this is locked, this arm doesn't go anywhere. It's actually stuck, right? This one can't move. But once you unlock it, this guy is now good to go. So they actually want you to extend it as far as you can, open it up, and turn it down like this. Open it up and turn it down like this. Like so. So I've got this. Maybe I've got my torso on one. Should check on that. Like so.
Yes, Sid is doing this without a manual, which is pretty amazing, actually.
Trying to go from memory, but you know what they say about old age, right?
Yeah.
I know the other Wing Gundam, this guy, you have to turn the torso around, or but maybe in this one you don't, because this, I'll show you here. This groove is pretty important. Now where is the shield here? The shield has these grooves right here. You want to tuck this part in, the peg that would normally attach to the arm. Open this up, extend the shield if you want. And then these grooves go right here. Okay. Plug that in. Bring the cover down. Now this will cover up his head. Look at that. Doesn't that totally hide that head?
Yeah.
Isn't that perfect? You'll never suspect that that's a head, right? Never ever suspect that that's a head.
So this is meant to be a plane now.
Yeah. It's a bird mode or whatever you call it, right? Okay, now, for the most part, it is finished, but the cool part here, we have this stand.
Oh.
Now the stand actually comes with these two, you have two attachments. One attachment, I don't have it here with me, is meant to actually fit onto this part right here, so you can clip him on in mobile suit mode, and he's fine. But because I'm going to put him in his flight mode here, let me go back and drop this back on here. Boop. What I do is, I had this right the first time, as there's a little tab in here which is meant to connect in this little groove, right? So I'll put this on. Come on, you. Come on. Okay, and while I'm here, I gotta take these apart. Take your weapons apart. You don't need them to connect here, but you do need this. Here, let's see. Clink. Clink. These actually drop on from the top. Or we'll drop here, or from below, I guess, for my top while I'm looking at it like this. Like so. There he is. Now this area here will actually cradle the torso. So I just have to line up this tab in the skirt. Done. Just like so. And hopefully you can get that. There's the Wing Gundam.
No, that actually looks cool.
And it's completely different. Like if you do a quick transformation of this guy, you end up with, sorry guy, you end up with just these kind of wings, right?
Okay.
They just kind of splay out. But this guy's got the four.
Yeah,
Four
no,
wings.
it actually looks like a spaceship.
And I forgot the secondary wing.
I regret making fun of him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. There you go. Wing Gundam Proto. Transformed for you. Gunpla TV. All right, Ryan, you can forget Red Bull because I give you wings. Look at this. Look at all these things. Wings everywhere. Wings everywhere. Wings. All right.
Red Bull does not give you wings. Sid does.
I gives you wings.
Now, I guess we've got a few questions, comments.
Yep.
Just a couple. So let me get started.
Okay.
First is a Clement Kwan. Hey Sid, I'm starting out as a modeler and I wish to coat my Gunpla with coats which will make my kit more lifelike.
Lifelike for fictional giant robots. Okay.
continuing. So, I'm not too sure what to use directly on the plastic. Also, I've heard of flat and top coats. Is there a difference? And which should I use to get the effect I want?
Okay, it's a good question, because the question that we need to ask him is, what effect do you want? Now, we mentioned lifelike, and it's hard to, know what that is,
like
because we
Pacific
haven't
Rim?
seen. That's lifelike.
That's lifelike.
We're going to imagine what a real life machine would look like a Gundam. It would probably look like a giant, military vehicle or a car or anything new. So if it's something that's new, like you just built this thing on this giant factory and you have this brand new Gundam, well, then you're probably going to go with a gloss top coat to get it to kind of shine a little bit. It hasn't been used. It's all
fresh,
all brand spanking new, shiny. But if you're trying to go for the effect that maybe it's seen some use or maybe it's been in battle, then you're gonna want to dirty it up a little bit, maybe add some darker panel lines in there, and flat coat it to take that shine away. You don't want it to look like plastic. A lot of people will by default flat coat their Gundams, if at the minimum, because that will take away that plastic sheen.
I love flat coat. If there's one way to just take your kit up a few steps, it's a flat coat.
Flat coat's kind of the easy way to go. But then if you use a flat coat, you're also you might ruin that it's a shiny new kind of machine look, which semi-gloss works fine for. So just all depends on what effect you're going for.
Now, Clement, there is a Q&A group on the Gunpla TV blog. Drop some questions in there. Those guys are really super helpful.
Yeah.
And they'll help you out with your conundrum.
And maybe even post examples.
Yes.
Because
now,
you can do that.
we've also done a ton of episodes on how to dirty your thing, panel liner, top coated, flat coated. So, check out previous episodes. Next, Garrison Chen.
Okay.
Do you think there will be any more MG00 grunt suits or mega size?
Mega size, I'm going to kind of say no. If we haven't seen one for a couple of years, chances are that line is dead. And Bandai's more focused on other things. Well, it's good they tried. Right? Yeah, had to try. But MG grunt suits, hard to say. We're going to see an MG Exia Repair 2 only on Bandai store, unfortunately. But that might lead to them putting out more suits from that series. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some more MG00 suits. But they're likely to start with kind of the star suits as opposed to the grunt suits.
Star suits.
The main ones with a pilot that has a name kind of thing, as opposed to off in the distance there's a generic green robot or whatever else,
The winner of the F1.
That's
the star.
You don't make when you're making the figures, you don't make the Star Trek red shirts first. You make Picard and
the robot guy. Okay, next, Claudius Sol.
Yeah.
And this is kind of in relation to the question we asked. Pretty sure the Triple XG designation is probably harkening back to the ex-military designation for experimental. Get it?
Experimental with the X.
Such as the X1 rocket plane, which broke the sound barrier. Probably something to show its secret and experimental design process. Sorry, mate. Triple XG is obviously porn.
Obviously.
G size, Triple X. You know what I'm saying.
And Japan's propensity toward porn.
Exactly. You haven't seen that Gundam yet.
Conspiracy theory.
The G actually stands for Gundam.
That's right. Triple X Gundam. I'm sure there's some kind of weird anime already out there.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid to torrent any of these Japanese sites for fear of viruses and spying softwares, but I'm sure there's something out there.
Yeah,
I think I found a Doraemon once.
Dude.
My daughter
Don't
found
go
it.
there. Don't go. Okay, and finally is Magus2332 said, what with the claws and the big tail, I'd say it looks more like a platypus than a mallard. Sir, you are incorrect.
Yeah, take it from this guy.
Yeah, I'm an Australian citizen, and I know what a platypus looked like.
If I did put a huge flat tail on it, though, would you agree that it kind of looks like a platypus?
No.
No? Okay.
Platypuses are cute and cuddly and sweet.
I don't know. I've never seen one outside of television.
Neither have I.
Okay.
But that is all the questions for today.
Okay.
Just a reminder to everyone, we have a YouTube channel and now we have Google+. Like us, friend us, do whatever you need to do. We always enjoy your comments and your questions. And thanks to everyone out there who does help us answer these questions. It's really appreciated. Don't forget to enter the competition. And
I would like to say, stick in here, that I know we have a lot of people who watch our show who live in the Philippines. And I hope that given that super typhoon that just came through there, that everybody's safe.
Yeah.
You know, people that we know who watch the show, of course, we don't know where they live in the Philippines, but we do know that they're from the Philippines. A lot of people write in, I'm from the Philippines. I just hope everybody's okay, everybody's safe. Let us know if you are. Leave a comment below. And hope that area recovers quickly.
Absolutely.
They showed us a lot of support when the earthquake and tsunami came in Japan, so I'm going to pay it forward here and wish you guys the best. All right?
Okay.
All right, next week's the Gunpla Expo.
Yes, see us there.
Live.
Yeah.
See you guys later. And we're back after a little bit of a hiatus.
Yes.
We had like several weeks off. How do you feel about being back, Ryan?
I'm super excited.
All right, now
sadly, I haven't done anything.
That's okay.
People
I'm
just
sure
need
you've got other stuff to talk about, like